The sad irony of the last 4 years is I've advocated for so long for women to use their voice, and then I was silent.
Were you silent or were you silenced?
The latter.
The 2-hour interview comes amid mounting friction between Buckingham Palace and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. The couple made the decision to leave the UK and their official royal roles nearly 2 years ago. In the interview, Meghan described what life was like for her in the royal family. She said when she was pregnant, palace officials spoke to the couple about the upcoming birth of their son Archie.
The conversation of he won't be given security, he's not going to be given a title, and also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
She says tabloid scrutiny and life within the royal family made her miserable and lonely. She says at her lowest point, she thought about committing suicide.
I just didn't want to be alive anymore. And that was a very clear and real and frightening, constant thought. He won't be given security, he's not going to be given a title, and also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born. Not only was I not being protected, but that they were willing to lie to protect other members of the family, but they weren't willing to tell the truth to protect me and my husband.
CBS reportedly paid at least $7 million to air the interview, which hit primetime in North America just hours after the Queen's own message.
Looking forward, relationships with others across the Commonwealth will remain important.
In that broadcast, there was no hint of the rift or some of the dark revelations made in the interview.
I just didn't want to be alive anymore.
How you were trapped.
Trapped within the system, like the rest of my family are.
It was meant to be a happily ever after, but it turned out to be anything but a fairy tale. 2 years after the nation celebrated,
it could not have been a happier, more glorious day. But then things started to go downhill.
The sort of cheeky, chappy image, once he was constantly being photographed.
Pressure on the prince's love life had also been building. After
compared to the enormous double apartment that
tradition, and there would be more to come.
They wanted to do things very differently. All right so far, but things then got a bit laughable.
All the little signals meant a breakup with the royal family was inevitable.
And else we're going to do things in a very different way.
British sensibility of a stiff upper lip.
She did really try to adapt this British stiff upper lip, keep calm and carry on, you know, never complain, never explain. But let's remember, she's American. You know, we like to complain and explain.
It had been inevitable from the start.
Harry and Meghan saw perceived slights at every twist and turn.
And how they would continue to be half in the royal family and half out of the royal family, and that was cloud cuckoo land and couldn't be done. You are either in or you're out, and it was definitely the Queen who said no very, very firmly to her favourite grandson, and that must have been very hard.
Harry and Meghan's final royal engagement was in early March, and for some, it seemed their troubles were still on display.
There was quite a lot of tension there. There was some interesting body language with both of the brothers studiously examining their programmes and not really talking at all. Meanwhile, Meghan's there with a megawatt smile, trying to make the best of things.
I would say that what interaction we saw, and there wasn't much, between the Cambridges and the Sussexes seemed to me extremely frosty.
Harry and Meghan have long been suspicious of the press and the motives of the media. But taking on the tabloids is a battle that can come with consequences.
If you want less press intrusion, yet you launch court cases against the press, this could lead to the ultimate horror that Meghan could appear in court, at least in theory, against her father, Thomas.
They don't seem to be in touch with the mood of the nation anymore.
But to do so, she and Harry have had to reveal more personal information in court.
They don't like being written about in the British tabloid press, but at the same time, they are suing, and that will come out in the courts, all of the text messages and the documents. So they must feel very, very confident that what they have to show will, in one sense, vindicate them. Absolutely.